Hello, I'm Paula. Welcome to my studio. Today I'm going to be giving a random object a makeover. I was looking through this store here. It's not a thrift store. It's just like we carry a variety of things that don't match each other for very cheaply kind of store. And I was looking at planters when this one popped up at me. I think she's really cute, but above all, I like her big head because it resembles to the style of portraits that I do. So I thought it would be really great to give her a makeover and try to make her match my style more. So let's do that today.
Okay, here she is up close and personal. First of all, I'm gonna take off that from her head and start working with her. The first thing I need to do is give her a layer of gesso because I need to change the surface so my paint will stick. I give her one good layer all around and let it dry, and then since it's still pretty transparent, I decide to go over it with a second layer of gesso, which apparently I didn't give the first layer enough time to dry because it's peeling off when I run my brush through it. So I do the logical thing, which is try to fix it with my finger and of course make it 10,000 times worse. So I'm gonna let that dry, and then when it's fully dry, I'm gonna give it a third or second and a half layer. Okay, third layer, and make all of the mistakes nice again. So that did fix it up nicely, and I go all over it, and then I really let it dry. I even take it outside and let it dry better as I stock it because I'm so eager to paint. But before painting, okay, first, no, let me remove that because it's driving me crazy. And before painting, remember the confusion between modeling paste and gesso from my first modeling video? If not, I'll link it below and you can go check it out. Anyhow, because of the mistake on that video, it now occurs to me that it would be cool to use that texturizing or modeling paste on this project again. So my idea is to give the bottom of my planter a layer of this texturing paste so that I can create a texture on its dress. So here I am covering all of the dress with the modeling paste, and after I have it done, I take the back of a brush and start designing a little pattern on her dress. And when I did it, I got residue that I started cleaning on my own hand, but then I got a paper towel, so we're good. Now, in hindsight, if I were to do this again, I would probably cover a section of the area I'm working on with the modeling paste, do my little design, and then cover the next section and do a design there, because by the time I moved to the back, the modeling paste was getting drier and it also started chipping the paint or the gesso layers from underneath, which I waited so patiently to dry. So I would definitely do that different if I were to do this a second time. Now, somewhere during that process, I took some of the gesso out with my finger, which had modeling paste on it, so it kind of scratched because it made it wet. I don't know. I just did it again, so I take yet another layer of gesso and cover the mess I did, and this time I'm going to let this thing dry overnight. Okay, it's the next morning and I'm super excited that I'm gonna get to paint, but no. Because the first thing I need to do is give it another layer of white paint mixed in with gesso so I can fix all of the little details that I ruined yesterday with the modeling paste. Thank God that dried quickly because I was literally watching paint dry. Anyhow, time to paint, yay! And I decided I want my doll to be kind of different. So I paint her face yellow because my idea is to fade it out to green, to turquoise blue, and then ultimately to purple, creating a nice little gradient. So I even take the green up a little bit on her face and around it to make it a little bit more mixed in. Now, as I'm painting this, if you've ever seen my portraits, and if not, you're welcome to visit my webpage or my Instagram account, which are linked below. Most of my portraits have florals on them. And when I saw this planter, I was thinking, am I gonna sculpt flowers with clay for this? No, I am not. So I went into the floral sort of section of this store and I found all of these little fabric flowers that I'm gonna just glue on. I took out the flowers so I could decide what color I would paint the hair, and seeing them next to my planter, I decided it needs a little bit more purple and also that the hair is gonna be pink. So I start working on all of that pink hair. And after I get all of the details, I use some of that berry pink to give her a little bit of a blushy cheek. And that leads me to work on her face. So with my pencil, I draw some guidelines to place her nose, eyes, and mouth similarly to what I do in my portraits. And I start to paint her face with one of my Posca markers. I also use a white marker to go over the pattern I created with texture to make it pop up a little bit more. As that dries, I give the face another layer of paint because those lines that I made with the pencil will not erase on their own. So I'm just working on the face more and more, giving her more dimension as I try to get rid of these lines. This took a really long time. Okay, so I got her face to a place where it was acceptable and I started working on her eyes. I'm back to the Poscas because it's just easier for me to do it this way. And I decided to give her like a pink eyeliner, pinkish eyeliner too. I'm still trying to erase lines, and at this point I take her off camera to take a closer look. I just couldn't do it with the distance of the camera. Anyhow, I decide to add more color to the design of her dress, and I start by painting this one heart that seems to be on her chest, and then adding more color over and over the pattern. And that was when I saw it. I don't know how, because I swear I hadn't used black until now. A black dot appeared on her hair. And I know that was a quick fix, but for some reason I pondered and stared at this dot forever. And after that, I brought out my black marker so that there would be a reason for that dot to be there. Nah, I just actually had to outline her eye, give her some eyelashes, fill in the pupil, outline her little nose and mouth, and start finishing her face. I also added some cute pink freckles because freckles, and then it was time for me to glue all of the flowers on. Brought out my flowers, cut off the stems, and I was ready to glue them. Before doing that, I regretted the purple lip and the strong outline, so I went over it with my pink marker to make it a little bit softer. And on go the flowers. Stop. Need to give her some highlights before I move on with the flowers. Okay, let's go. And with that, the flower song is over. All of the flowers are on. A little touch up of the lips, a little clear spray varnish to make her glossy again, and she's done. I went from this cute planter to this one. I love her little makeover. I hope you enjoyed this too. Let me know in the comments. I had so much fun. Thank you for being here. Please consider subscribing and have a wonderful day. Bye!